So this face tattoo was inspired by something that Jesus taught, and then just my perspective on introspection and how like life will reflect you in order to teach you where you can grow at, because I believe that evolution is continuous, but it also happens on both sides, whether it's the angels or the demons or whatever the case may be. And for me, I've definitely noticed that, especially with me, I am such an emotional person, and when I'm upset and I'm triggered by something, it really brings this tremendous anger out of me that wants to act upon it and be violent and to be destructive, but I never really do to other people, I would say. I'm not going to pretend like I don't, break boxes or punch walls and stuff like that. I have my moments. But I've definitely noticed that a lot of the things that have triggered me in my life, especially recently, ever since I started to realize just how much life reflects me, is that these are things that are meant to show me something so that I can grow as a person, rather than look to get back or get even with the person or situation, just purely because my pride and my ego is hurt, and I feel the need to let them know that they can't treat me any type of way or something like that, like I've definitely noticed like my frustration like with people. Like people will bring about energy to my life that I don't always enjoy, and there have been times where I've really had the desire to just kind of like let loose on them and to like flip out and let them feel what I'm feeling. But if I was to do that, then I'm just going to bind us together through my pain and my anger, and then now that's how we're connected. When if anything, if I turn the other cheek and take the high road and I just walk away, not only do I prevent the binding of chains through pain, but I've also taken a step towards evolving and towards growth and towards self-control and towards cultivating more wholeness, because I'm giving my emotions the space they deserve to be felt, but I'm not acting upon them in the way that I might consider just purely because I'm upset. You know what I mean? Because I understand it can be challenging to not act on things when you're upset and feeling like someone disrespected you. But I have found for myself that if I give in to this person, then what's to say that it won't stop me from giving in to the next person and the next person? And not everyone has control over me if they just so choose to want to disrespect me or try to affect me. For an example, right? Being on the internet, I'm just putting this out there. Like, I don't have hatred towards these people. I'm just using them purely for the sake of example. Like, I'll be on Twitter and there will be like videos of like white teenagers getting into fights with each other, and not a single black person is in the video, but the white kid is calling the other white kid the N-word. You know what I mean? And I'm just kind of like I don't understand why they're saying it, but part of me could be like, oh, I'm upset with this, but then why? But why is that though? And you know what I mean? And I've had to realize that I've had to let go of any attempt at control, because people are going to do what they do and there's nothing I can do about it. And that's me turning the other cheek, in my opinion, to just evolve and focus on what I can do, which is where I'm at right now with myself. You know what I mean? Because people are going to constantly make choices based off of whatever they feel is right for them or whatever they want to do, whether it be hurt someone else or try to be offensive. And if I was to just react every single time by throwing a punch or cussing them out on the internet or cussing them out in person, now I'm just continuing to cause the divide amongst people, and I'm just bringing more anger and pain into the world. And not only will my world begin to be more affected by it, but now I'm continuing the narrative of like, oh, they have this dude has no self control, or you know, they need to let history go. It's just a word, and da 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 da, and all types of stuff. And I understand it's very controversial, but it really has made me realize like there's just so much. I can only do what I can do with what's within my grasp, and by actively being aware that I am the one in control. You know what I mean? And that's why turning the other cheek is so important, because it's not even just about, if, because I could not be doing that thing and it could just trigger me somehow, and it could just be to realize what's in your control. What's in your control to do what's better for you, rather than trying to, force someone to do what you think is right, or, acting upon violence and anger to try to create something new when that might just not be what's right for you. You know what I'm saying? And like with what Jesus taught about like turning the other cheek, you know what I mean? It has definitely helped me realize that I do not wish to continue causing the separation amongst people in the ways of I need to get my get back. I need to get my leg back on this person because they did this and they did that. I grew up in the hood for a lot of my life, and that's how a lot of these gang wars continue. That's how a lot of these killing sprees continue, because no one is willing to just put the gun down and be like, you know what, we're all just hurting. One of us needs to stop this, because we are constantly fed the idea of get it back in blood, get your get back. Don't let them disrespect you. Don't let them beat you. And when your ego and sense of self and pride is put on the line for that stuff, if it's not genuinely foundational on its own, then you will act at anything to maintain that reputation, no matter the cost. And I've come to realize for myself that it's not worth it to act upon my anger in ways that is to hurt other people, because I don't want to hurt anybody else. I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to be violent with nobody, because I don't have a bloodlust to do that. I don't have a bloodlust. I don't have a genuine focus on it. I might have considered it, but I don't do it. You know what I mean? I'll be honest. I can't pretend like I don't have violent thoughts. I just make sure that I remind myself that I'm in control and that I don't have to do it. I could just walk away. You're going to be angry, but it's better to do that than to screw your life up, putting your hands on somebody just because they upset you. And somebody might be like, well, what if they put their hands on you first? Well, then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. It hasn't happened, and I don't plan on placing myself in situations where someone's gonna put their hands on me. So I just let it be what it is. If you wanna talk shit, you wanna say this, you wanna do this and do that, I am just learning that, you know what, I just have to let you. You got it. You know what I mean? I'm not finna argue with you. I'm not about to play these games with you. I'm not about to fuck my life up fucking around with you, because by doing that, I'm not gonna get anything out of it other than my pride is gonna feel better, but my life might not be better if I do what I consider. You know what I mean? And it's just realizing like all of this stuff is meant to teach you something in order to grow. You know what I mean? It's not even just about turning the other cheek. It's just about looking within and understanding, why is this happening? Like it don't even got to be somebody trying to hurt me. It could be like a trigger from an addiction. You know what I mean? Like a sugar addiction that I've dealt with. I've spoke about that before. That's also part of like what this symbol represents, is to go within and understand what is this moment meant to teach you in order to cultivate greater growth with each step you take. You know what I mean? Do you realize who's in power truthfully? Do you remember who's really in control? And do you know how to go about it without stressing about it? You know what I'm saying? And it's understanding that, every single moment is looking to, at least in my opinion, every single moment that I'm living in is essentially catered to my greater evolution and my greater wholeness as a person, rather than attempting to cling to the light or just the highlights or just positivity, as if negativity is not essential towards the entirety of your life. So, introspection, reflection, turning the other cheek, evolution, wholeness, taking the high road is what this represents. So, thank you, God, for the teachings in the Bible. And thank you for this opportunity that I've had to realize this for myself so that I could be more whole and better for myself.